evening Interworld. Sergeant Slack here, Banana One Productions. I am now 4 months into my Hema journey. As you can see, I have purchased some gear. These came from Michael at the club. They are the Suckfen Pluderhose. I had some old knee pads, shin guards knocking around. The Spez FG Gambeson was on the night shop for relatively cheap, 115 quid, as opposed to, you know, like the usual 200 quid for a decent jacket. It's quite nice. It's a little big. There's a couple of issues. We'll talk about that in another time. We have just done, also have the Regenier feather. Went for the wide version because I think it looks nicer and plenty of room for thumbing the blade and whatnot. Yeah, I like it. I've had 3 longsword duels now. We just finished the longsword block. Mike went super early and we did Lichtenauer, which is really quite interesting. I'm working my way through Kunstes Fechten. Michael usually does Maya, but he decided this time to go really early with Lichtenauer. But that's good because not a lot of people do is thrust work. Because Maya, as far as I understand it, this is big citation needed area. By the time Lichtenauer was more sort of coming from that knightly tradition, where these were weapons of war, and Maya, it was more like a weapon of sport, and it was very unsporting to thrust at your opponent's face. I guess especially if you had a crappy mask or you weren't using masks at all. But yes, I am thoroughly enjoying myself. I am maybe slightly obsessed with swords. It's probably like a daily occurrence that I think, do, write, read, watch something about swords. Yes, I don't know if it's one of these passing obsessions, but I don't think so. There's so much to learn, and even in the things that we do know, there's so much difference. So there's not a big Italian crew at AHF, Academy of Historical Fencing. There are other people there from other clubs, and there are lots of people in different clubs. It's a very mixed bag. The people there are great. Nick and Michael, our instructors, are lots of fun, and Nick and Esther host us after a sparring day. A sparring day happens, like 3 or 4 times a year, and then like 4 different other clubs. So, but even last time we had some people there from Essex, which was nice. So it's nice to meet different people who come from different schools and things are done in different ways. Yes, I had the first time this was used in anger was with Malcolm on Monday. I had a longsword bout with Sam this evening, and also one with Michael. Sam is an interesting chap because he's like this tall. He's so taller than me, so I think he's he's possibly the only person that overranges me in height at the club. But then that's nice to be on that side of it because, again, you know, everyone 5'9" to 6'2". I do have the height advantage, especially with the Scheitelhau, that I can just pop right over their heads, and they've really got to get up. Really got to get that guard up to do it. Whereas, you know, I can do an overguard just in like normal locks without too much of it. So, yes, I have carried on with it. Yes, I am enjoying it. I was thinking of doing some modifications to this because I have developed, it seems, somewhat of a sideline in preparing swords. I did Jordan's Broken Quillian on his, his Malleus side sword. And then Mike has a beautiful Skivona, I'll put a picture of it up there, which he had made by Black Fencer, and it is a copy of one of his actual 17th century antiques. 16th, 17th? An old sword, like an original. He had a copy of it made with the basket tilted broadsword blade. So yes, I have some ideas. I've become a Schwertreit, and at least do repairs for swords in the Hema community. There are a couple of other people who've asked me to do some things also, so pays to be Andy with a welder if you're going to swing lumps of metal around and clash them into each other, I guess. But yes, the obsession shows no sign of abating. I have placed an order with Virginie through the club for the two-handed trainer, the Reina, the Montante trainer, and also there's sort of like a feather version of a great sword, which was the Spada a due mano, the Marozzo two-handed sword tradition. I did do a paint job on the mask, so doesn't it look lovely? I'm just joking, it's on that side. I wanted a diminuted mask so I could have something cool but also something not. It is of course the Berserker armour that Guts was. It was supposed to be. I just did two layer of black. I should have done a video of it, but I was just excited to do it. I'll maybe do a video if I do the other side, or if I do any paint jobs for anyone else. But yeah, 2-layer black, and then use some Runefang silver and some, I can't remember what the red is, but yeah, use some of my 40k paints to do the top. And yeah, I have almost got everything I need. Well, I have got everything I need. I've been doing longsword duels. Yeah, the first one, the first one was very much just took me right back to just like flailing each other with sticks in the garden and how it used to be. Because all of the technique pretty much just instantly went out the window because it's the thinking time was like so quick. Fighting with Sam earlier was better. I could actually plan to do some moves. They wouldn't necessarily come off. But then I had the thing where I was sort of like accidentally, I was doing like a nice false edge onto how into a Sver or a Krumpau. And yeah, it almost works, but I kind of cocked the handling up, like my actual handling of the grip. So I was like, oh yeah, I want to try that again, because of course used to drilling where you just do the same thing over and over and over. And yeah, you can't really do that in an opponent, because especially if you do the same thing, they're expecting it the second time. You could do it 2 times and change it on the third to kind of like trick them. And then Sabre, I've got much better at. I need to buy a proper one, but I have the foam, what for practicing with, complete with custom Ponzi Latin inscription, Brutum Fulmen, which was like empty thunderclap or something, so I thought that was quite appropriate for a a foam sword. Much better cuts coming from the wrist rather than having to bring the arm in. I had a quick match with Nick, but he was complimenting my throwing of cut threes, actually being quite good. And I've gone through at least 2 or 3 stages with Sabre where I've gone from just sort of like panicking. So in NLP they talk about the 4 stages of being good at something. There's consciousness of what you're doing, and there's competence in it, and then there's 2 of each. So you start with unconscious incompetence, and then you transition to conscious incompetence when you don't know what you know. In the first stage you don't know that you don't know, and then in the second stage you're aware of what you don't know. Then you have unconscious competence, where you can do the thing but you couldn't explain it to someone else, and then you have conscious competence at the end where you can do that. So I'm sort of getting to conscious competence in there. So the first few fights were just panicking and getting beasted in the head by Mike. And then fighting with other people, you sort of get used to some of the stuff and start to pull new things in with it and experiment and see what works. Right, so you throw 2 attacks in onto the inside, which forces them into a wide outside guard. Your inside to their outside. 2 attacks over here, which the first one comes here for the parry, the second one you parry further, and then of course the Jin is very exposed. So learning these things and then actually being able to use them in a fight, quite different. I've now getting through actually experimenting with some of these things, trying to make them happen in a fighting context. So I guess that's it. That's where I've been up to on my stupid fucking journey. 4 months in, just finished a longsword block. And then I've also started going to the Monday sessions for the last 2 months because blue light when the monitor turns off. Because we were doing a saber and smallsword. So Nick has also very kindly donated a smallsword blade, which I will. Well, I think this is an epi. Yeah. So it's an epi blade, but because of the cross section, it's triangular cross section with a groove up the front. It's basically what most people use on their small swords. I will make and handle this blade so it can be used as a small sword, because I do quite enjoy that. The only fencing experience, as I've said before I started doing Hema, was a course in foil and epi, and we were supposed to do saber, but the saber guy broke his wrist, so we obviously did no saber. Ow. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you next time. Ta-da!
Bye bye.
Been a few issues with practicing on the sword inside. It's a good job we don't have plaster on the ceiling yet, because well,